Good afternoon and welcome to Archbishop Spalding for your 4 o'clock face-off versus Loyola Blakefield Dons and your Archbishop Spalding Cavaliers. Today's a windy day, but it's also a lonely day up here in the booth. I am riding solo by myself, no Glenn Clark, no Sean Hatley, but I appreciate you sticking with us. Today we have Archbishop Spalding coming in at 5-3, second MIAA A-Conference matchup versus Loyola Dons, who are 0-1 on the season, versus Spalding, who's also 0-1. Today's a big matchup, looking for a bounce-back game from the Cavaliers, and hopefully you don't hear my voice the whole time. Hopefully Glenn shows up here, better late than never. But either way, appreciate you tuning in. Today you have Spalding in the white jerseys, red numerals, going left to right on your dial, as Glenn likes to say, and Loyola, blue shirts, yellow numerals, going right to left. Early face-off win for Criswell is a good sign for Spalding. Hopper looking to maintain possession here. Get the offensive middies on the field. A couple keys to the game for me come in. I think Spalding needs to win the turnover battle and therefore the possession clock, and also get to some high percentage shooting opportunities. Last game against Boys Latin, struggled offensively to get the shots they wanted, high percentage shots. And was shown on the scoreboard with the tough 8-5 loss. So today, looking to play, solid 6v6, find the matchups, get the good high percentage shots, like that one you see right there from Jack Newell. Back up by Brady Mollett. 40 seconds on the shot clock. Another week here with notable Diego Garza out of the lineup, who unfortunately is out for the season with a wrist injury. So looking for a few other big names to step up. Early shot there by Jake Wolf goes wide. Back up by Mollett. Good strong take by Mollett. Unfortunately knocked down. Loyola picks the ball. Pushing in transition here, have numbers for a brief second. Deep shot by Long Pole there, big save. Big shot by Robbie Hopper there, unfortunately stopped. Ball's bouncing around. Spalding prides itself on its transition game right there. I don't know if that's the right shot, but either way, maintain possession.
I'm not out of breath. You're out of breath.
As promised, Glenn Clark is here.
You going to do the play-by-play? I'll do the analysis?
I am not. I think we just lost about 50% of our viewership.
Well, it's good to have you back. I didn't know if I was going to be back. What did I miss?
A couple transition plays, a couple saves.
Well, that's a good start.
Good start. I would say it's pretty even so far. Spalding definitely controlling the possession clock.
Gordy Bennett moving it underneath Matassa. Spalding's got to get the offense going, Andrew.
Yeah, I mentioned at the start of the broadcast, hanging around with Boys Latin, just, offensively couldn't get to the high percentage shooting positions, that they're targeting. And today already a few shots on goal. And right now we're seeing Loyola in a zone, eating a lot of this shot clock. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Looking to get the Dons moving a little bit. Find a skip pass to a shot like that.
Bennett gets it underneath. Oh, that was a good look. Closing seconds of the possession clock. Kind of forcing the issue to Jake Wolf. 3 seconds. Not going to be able to do anything with that. You mentioned it was a good battle against Boys Latin. They had a lead in the fourth quarter. But they just really were still not consistent offensively. Sean Hatley said he didn't like the shot selection, really didn't like the shot placement.
It's tough. If you don't put it on the 6x6, it's not going to go in. There's too many good goalies in this league as well to not be taking high percentage shots. So I'm sure that was a focal point for Coach Cottle this week in practice and shooting drills.
Blakefield gets it back. Just over 3 minutes gone by in the first quarter. He is Andrew Scally. I am Glenn Clark. I want to blame the president. really messed things up today for everybody trying to get here from Baltimore. From the top. Jack Gunning hands it off. Just a nice look for the inside and a good save for Newman. Trying to get some help in order to get that out of the corner.
10-man ride here from Loyola.
Cavaliers have mostly cleared quite nicely this season, Andrew.
They have, and that's a huge stat to win. I mean, if you're able to clear the balls, 80% of the time, good move there by Mollett.
Mollett.
Great look.
And a better decision. Mollett to Matassa, and the Cavaliers are on the board first.
Goal by Joey Matassa. Back in the mail, it's gone. Shit, I got smell.
Unbelievable individual effort there by Mollett. Put his defender on skates, hung him up on the back of the net, and found the open man.
Well, and I got to be honest, when he decided not to shoot, I thought for a second, ooh, might they regret that? But that is incredible vision from Mollett to find Matassa wide open on the opposite post. 1-0, Spalding scores first. And Criswell follows it up with another face-off win. Ryan Criswell came in today 59.6% at the dot. Alex Hall, the lead face-off specialist for Loyola Blakefield. Yep, opportunity.
Good look.
Kept
Good
moving
finish.
in front, and Wolf through the hit, delivers. Let me hear it. Jake Wolf makes it 2-0.
Haven't howled recently. Not enough. Hopefully that early goal gets him going. Found the weak spot. Good catch, good finish. But even better vision. I mean, that starts with, obviously a clean face-off, but Robbie Hopper finding the trail man. And Spalding's been, as we mentioned, the clearing game has been a focal point for him. But with that clearing game comes some, man-up opportunities if they catch Loyola sleeping. So they did that in the sub game, found the open man, and made Loyola pay. Violation
this time, so it will be Blakefield ball. Dons come in 3-4 on the season. 1-0 in conference play, coming off back-to-back wins. A 13-9 win at Mount St. Joe on Tuesday. A 14-6 win last week over Penn Charter. These teams a year ago played at Blakefield. It was a 10-5 win for the Dons at home. Great start, obviously, for the Cavaliers today. Running shot, that'll sneak through for Luke Rush. And I'm going to guess that one will be frustrating because I'm thinking that perhaps Newman could have had that one.
Yeah, that's definitely one he wants back. And it's also, the first sign of a settled 6v6 for Loyola. And, one thing to note here is Coach Ford, the offensive coordinator for Loyola, has had a long stint here at Spalding. Coached me when I was here, went away, came back, and I coached with him for a handful of years. And right there you saw the weave offense, at its finest. And that's something that a lot of these players on the Spalding roster have seen in practice. They know it's coming, but it's one of those tough formations to defend. And, Coach Ford, one of the best to do it and best to set guys up for success. And so we'll see how that plays out the rest of the game.
Clean win for Criswell working against Hall. Of course, that's Spencer Ford that Andrew Scally is referring to. Approaching the midway point of the first quarter. 2-1, Archbishop Spalding. Landon Adelman with that next group out there for the Cavaliers. Wolf from back at X. Thought about making a move in front. Decides better of it. Matassa around the screen, but that one's going to be called. Moss was moving.
Yeah, I thought that one could have gone either way. Maybe unnecessary roughness running through the pick. It could have been a flop call, like they have in the NBA. To me, it's a no call, but they got him there with a moving pick.
So the Dons get it back with an opportunity to tie things up on this possession. Mention Spencer Ford now on the staff. First-year head coach Will Haas. Of course, the Duke legend, the three-time All-American. Now playing with the Denver Outlaws. Taking over this program after he had served as an assistant at Malvern Prep. To the near side, Bennett Cook. It works its way back to X. Great move to get in front and canning it. Matt Joris working against Brody Moss. He takes the correct angle, and it's a 2-2 game.
Yeah, Spalding's got to have a hot slide there, and what I mean by that is somebody off ball designated as the slide guy. So once the on ball defender, gets beat, they're applying pressure and getting a switch. Right there, it was too late, and they made him pay.
Juarez ties the game at 2 apiece with 5:33 remaining here in the first quarter. Another quick, clean win. Ryan Criswell has pretty much dominated at the dot so far today.
Yeah, and that's huge. I mean, if you can limit the possessions of Loyola and keep the ball on the offense side of the field, I mean, that's going to be your best defense and give you the best opportunity to beat this team here. So hopefully that momentum continues to build. But as you can see, when they've had the ball in 6v6, they've gotten looks, and it could be, in my opinion, greater than 2-2 here. I think Spalding had a few opportunities that could have led to goals, but didn't, unfortunately.
Cavaliers in trouble as Gordy Bennett has that one taken away. Awfully quick clear. Ball comes free, but Loyola will be able to hold on to it. So after trailing 2-0, the Dons get the ball back with an opportunity to go in front. Ty Bleach playing pitch and catch with Jack Gunning. Bleach headed to play D1 at Fairfield. Newman tried to pick that off. Extra pass, Gunning didn't like the angle, keeps it moving. It looked like it could be trouble for a second. Spalding does well to scramble back, get set defensively. Back in front, Mason Cook. He moves it up top. Gunning again. Moves it. Oh boy, he had wide open Duran in the middle of the field.
Sure did.
Would have been an easy finish from there.
I don't know if Newman got a piece of that, but no reset on the shot clock. Even though it was a pass, could have been misconstrued as a shot there. With 10 seconds left on the shot clock.
Yeah, got to make a move. Starting one way, coming back the other. Bleach feeds it into
Big
the middle.
save.
Newman.
That's an unbelievable find there, but even better save.
Jacob Klein denied. Cavaliers get it back. 3.5 remaining in this first quarter. They scored the first 2. Dons responded with 2 of their own. Brady Mollett trying to get free. Wolf running shot. That one was a little too easy. In transition, wide open, but
Big
Newman
save.
again able to deny Klein.
Another great save by Newman.
Could be a push there.
And
Nothing.
nope, it's just going to go out of bounds and back the way of the Dons.
It's a great look by Longpole in transition to find that man on the crease. He owes his name in the paper for that one.
No doubt.
Owes him one.
Newman standing tall, though. Jacob Newman, the junior who's headed to Mercer, came in today stopping 53.2% of the shots that he's faced on the season. Makes a couple of big saves the last 2 times down, but possession back to the Dons, again with a chance to go in front late in the first quarter. Cook.
Wow.
Oh, great find and a tremendous finish from Mason Hill. The Mason to Mason combination. Cook to Hill. 3 straight goals for Loyola Blakefield, and they're in front 3-2.
Yeah, it's a good find. I mean, defensively, Spalding's got to figure out that 2-man game, and as I mentioned, they see it every day in practice. They work on that 2-man game quite a bit. Right now, they're not communicating through it, and they're providing Loyola some layup opportunities like we just saw.
These 2 Masons are going to both be playing in the Patriot League. That is the first face-off violation on Blakefield. Here in the first half, Mason Cook headed to play at Loyola. Mason Hill headed to play at Lafayette.
Ooh,
Good
big handle there.
snag.
That was headed for the sideline quickly.
And Newell able to prevent a turnover that would have been borderline unforgivable. I mean, nothing's really unforgivable. That's just a thing that
True.
we say. But,
Very
like,
true.
I don't know that Moss was expecting that pass. Fortunate the Mallet was there to gobble up the ground ball. Spalding's got to regroup, get the momentum back. Mallet trying to make a decision. He got free briefly, drew a second defender, but couldn't find the open man. Another move in front. Oh, the great idea to Wolf, but Wolf couldn't catch it cleanly, not able to save it in.
Unfortunate turnover there. I mean, the offense was looking a little stale. It was kind of 5 guys watching one. Mallet liked his matchup and took advantage of it, had composure with the ball, but it didn't result in a clean look and tough handle.
Loyola on a 3-0 run at the moment, trying to extend it. Got a 12-second difference between shot clock and game clock. So don't know how much they'll be thinking about that. Duran gets it back off the flip from Cook.
You see Spalding dropping into a zone here.
And Duran, good-looking shot, but Newman, a good-looking save.
I think the answer Spalding has here for that weave formation is just settle in zone and let those pick guys run over top and just communicate through it, which I think will slow them down because you kind of wait as they come off that pick. The defender's sitting there waiting for you to enter his zone. So for Loyola, it starts with popping off of that zone pocket and finding a skip pass. So as long as Spalding is active off ball, I like the play call going zone.
Timeout taken by Blakefield. 50.3 seconds remaining in this first quarter. Glenn Clark, Andrew Scally with you here from Whittles Field. Spalding tries again to pick up their first conference win of the season. Was there a stick issue?
I don't know. It looks like
doing a stick check right now.
Stick check.
Not sure. Of course, Spalding had won 3 straight games before falling to Boys Latin, 8-5 on Tuesday. Trying to get things going. It was a disappointing season in conference play a year ago. They had every reason to believe they were ready to take a step forward this year. And they were right there in position on Tuesday with that 5-4 lead, but then 4 unanswered goals at the end of the game for the Lakers led them to the victory here in A-conference action.
And I was talking with Coach Hockle. What did you learn about your team as a result of that loss against Boys Latin? Because there's a couple different outcomes, right? I mean, you could be defeated and feel deflated about it, put your head down and call off the dogs, or you can kind of respond to it and use it as a learning lesson, moving into the rest of the season. And that's exactly what they're doing. I mean, big takeaway there.
Yeah, dropping the stick afterwards. Robbie Hopper able to get it out. 28
25
seconds. Matassa, and we're going to get a timeout first.
Yep.
Yeah, Evan Hockle's going to take a timeout with 21.2 seconds remaining in the quarter after Robbie Hopper wins the ball back for the Cavaliers. Watch it one more time.
Over the head check.
And then just getting the ball out. Realized that he had his stick taken away from him. It was actually being held by Jack Gunning.
I've seen that be called as a hold, unfortunately. Or fortunately in this situation it wasn't. Let him play, and now Spalding has an opportunity, 20 seconds left, to draw something up and tie this game up going into the second quarter.
All right, so take me into the huddle, Coach.
We saw a little zone early from Loyola.
You say we. I didn't get to see it. So,
that's right. And I thought you being late and all, maybe you're stopping for some snacks. You
came
late and you came empty-handed.
No, that is actually a policy. Everybody knows that the last one to get here has to provide snacks.
There's nothing.
So Sean Hatley will be waiting for those snacks whenever you get here. All right, pal. Sorry.
But no, getting back to the game here, I wouldn't be surprised if we see another zone look from Loyola. And so Spalding is going to go back to the, just a simple triangle rotation on ball and off ball. So as the offense drives one way, you're going to have a guy fading off the crease and rotating to fill space. If they come out man-to-man, look for them to go behind back to Mala. I think Mala's playing with some quickness and some speed today. He's seen the field well, so I wouldn't be opposed to going back to him and seeing what he can do with the ball.
Matassa operating on the restart. Now he does give it to Mallet. Mallet right there at the end line. And then a miscommunication, they throw it away.
That's not what Coach Cottle drew
Now,
up.
I'm going to guess that probably wasn't the play. Mollett and Newell not able to communicate. That ball flung down, and want to make sure that everybody's all right, as that's how the quarter comes to a close. Spalding scored the first 2 of the game, but Blakefield ran off 3 straight, and it's the Dons in front 3-2 after 1. You're watching Archbishop Spalding Lacrosse.
Hallmarks of a Spalding athlete. Are they able to compete at the highest level possible? Spalding is positioned very uniquely because they are in one of the best leagues in the state. When they're competing at a high level, that's big time.
It was always known as a great academic school, but we wanted to build a full-rounded school for student athletes. And we knew that they could get to where they're at today.
Since I've graduated from high school, I've watched the campus grow astronomically. Spalding, it laid a foundation for my understanding of teamwork, friendship, and things that were so much bigger than what happened on the basketball court.
They're challenging themselves academically and spiritually, and it transitions directly onto the field. That consistency molds and shapes everybody that's involved.
The future of Spalding athletically is strong and vibrant, and I'm excited for our Cavs.
Start of the second quarter, Loyola Blakefield in front of Archbishop Spalding 3-2. You're watching Cavaliers Lacrosse. Glenn Clark, Andrew Scally with you from Whittles Field. It's a really good start for the Cavaliers, Andrew. What went wrong after they jumped out to that 2-0 lead?
Well, honestly, I think it was just Loyola getting more possessions, and that comes from, change-ups on the defensive side, going zone, and also just not, a couple careless turnovers, giving the ball back to Loyola. So with the ball on the offensive side of the field for Loyola, gave them an opportunity. But before that, Spalding was controlling the face-off X like they do right here, and they were capitalizing early. Now the momentum shift, has occurred, and now I got to respond.
Got to convert offensively. Mollett. It's the 4-on-4 matchup. He's got Matthew back there on him. Mollett makes his move, and Spalding's not going to force anything in the early going.
Good ball movement here.
Got him spinning a little bit. They're able to get reset. Now defender hung up. Spalding trying to cut their way through. Everything being cut off.
They might have gotten away with an interference call there.
Mollett's still with it.
And they just got the interference call.
There it is. It's Peter Lake who's the defender that's hung up. Still 30 on the possession clock, and Mollett in no hurry, particularly now with the flag out, knowing an extra man would be coming. Now he decides to give up that advantage and just work through the final 20 seconds of this possession clock.
And back in the day before there was a shot clock.
Matassa, I don't see another flag come out.
Yeah, no call there. But back in the day before there was a shot clock, having a defender hung up like that, is a huge advantage if you had the lead, because you could just sit back there all day long.
Yeah, for as long as you wanted.
And you're bleeding the game clock. Here, with the shot clock, you have a little bit more of a, incentive to make a play happen, and even more so when you have a flag down. But good job there by Mile, getting him hung up. And that started with great ball movement. They were zipping the ball, drawing a man, making the next pass.
Bing Birch serving the 30-second penalty.
This is one area I feel like Spalding has definitely struggled this year, is on the man-up opportunity. And so I've said it before, this is very similar to a zone look, in a 6v6. So you got to get the ball flying around. You got to get some rotations on the on ball and on the backside. Find that pass lane, step down, and finish.
Wilbur was the man in the middle. Now they cycled through. Bennett moved in front. Wilbur up top, and the pass gets thrown away. Can it be saved at the restraining line? No. Both Reese and Grant were trying to come get to it. Neither one of them able to save it, so it's going to be a failed extra man opportunity on the first of the day for the Cavaliers.
Yeah.
One in which they didn't get a shot off.
No shot, and I see Coach Cottle on the sideline, pleading to the ref that the ball was tipped, causing it to go over the midline. Obviously, they started play again, and The referee did not agree with Coach Cottle.
Which is weird because usually when a coach points something like that out, the officials are very quick to say, oh, did we maybe get that one wrong?
For sure.
So very sorry. Which does not mean that Coach Cottle shouldn't argue his case. Of course he should, because as we all know, in many of those circumstances, you're asking for them to look out for the next one. Don's trying to extend their lead for a 4th straight.
I think we're going to be talking about that play, come the 4th quarter. Hopefully it's not the case, but that was an opportunity that they left out on the table that they're definitely going to want back.
Newman be able to hold in tight on that near post. 20 seconds. Ball hits the turf. Grayson Dunn trying to get to it. Grayson Dunn, wow. What a ground ball along the sideline.
The sideline's huge.
Hopper with the extra pass, and there's the tying goal in transition. Robbie Hopper to Joey Matassa.
That's a great handle and a great finish there.
I remember who I was talking to recently. Somebody said, look, I got to be honest with you. Pole goals exciting, but pole assists excite me even more because that's when you're not just going through the motion. Like, you're not just, hey, it's all momentum.
Exactly.
It's when you're seeing the field.
It's some finesse.
Yeah.
Some athleticism. It's vision. That starts on the defensive side of the ball here. A lot of pressure on ball, huge ground ball on the sideline, rolled out of pressure, found the open man, and connected the dots to a layup. Everything.
Grayson Dunn, man. That was incredible along the sideline with that clean ground ball. Robbie Hopper gets his first point, his 2nd assist on the year, and his 4th point on the season. Matassa, goal number 2 on the day and number 18 on the year. 3-3 game. Cavaliers now looking to retake the lead, but it's thrown away as Matassa was looking for Wolf.
And you can't have that. You can't have a great play followed up with an unforced turnover like that. That kills momentum right there. I think Spalding got him back on the heels, and fortunately Loyola gets right back. But you have Loyola on the heels. You got to learn to play with momentum and continue to capitalize.
Pushing ahead, Kaufman, who we know is unafraid of contact. In fact, I think he prefers it. Sometimes it seems like when Kaufman's in transition, he's almost running into the contact.
Purposely.
Give me someone to hit. Works its way back to Newell, who will reset under 8 minutes, and now
got a man advantage if they
will come
hustle.
off. Bennett, space in front of him. Bennett loads up, decides the last second to give off to Wilbur, and Cavaliers can't take advantage of that sub-game opportunity.
But I'm okay with that. With 40 seconds left on the shot clock, about 50 when they transition, you don't need to force it. You have plenty of time to settle in, play 6v6, get a couple good shots.
Mollett lost it. Dons get it back. 7.5 remaining in this 2nd quarter. Loyola looking for their first goal of the 2nd quarter. Don's looking for a 3rd straight win after they had lost 3 straight. 2 first-year head coaches here in the A Conference. Ball thrown away briefly, tracked down by Mason Cook. Can he save it right along the sideline? Wow, another great play in the coffin corner. Cook will drift back to X. 30 seconds remaining on the possession clock. And tough look.
Nice save.
Jack
Wonder. Got him on a late hit.
Okay, so keep it down here. And a new 60 for the Dons to work with after Newman made the save on the look for Wonder.
I don't know about that call. Good hard take. Shot was off. Contact was, in my opinion, simultaneous, but.
Well, I'll go a step further. It was flatly wrong. I can't get fined, right? I don't work.
I don't think so.
I
don't think so.
Just want to make sure. If I can,
Hatley,
then I think
Hatley will pay it.
That's you know what? That is the penalty. Where did he run off to this weekend? He's out somewhere else in the world.
Gallivanting down in St. Pete Beach.
Is that where he is? It's weird. Did you get the invite?
I didn't.
I didn't either. That's so strange.
I don't know.
Underneath Newman again. Rebound opportunity picked up.
60-second reset.
Newman, he's been on fire today.
Yeah, he's seen the ball well, and defensively, they're getting stops. A couple unfortunate bounces here and there, but I like what I'm seeing defensively as well as offensively today.
Now Newman in a little bit of trouble as he came to try to pick the ball out of the air, but he's able to get back and makes another remarkable save.
Got to get the ball up.
Kaufman able to come away with this one. Kaufman looking to push. He's got Hopper. Hopper goes up to get it. Hopper again moves it to the middle. Extra pass. Oh, not able to connect with Matassa.
Wow.
Okay.
I don't know. Referee saw something I didn't. I had that one off of Hopper, but
stay Spalding ball.
Maybe a makeup call. Maybe Coach Cottle was in his ear.
That's why you keep talking about it. Cavaliers looking to retake the lead as we go under 5 minutes to play in the second quarter. Bennett with some space in front of him. Oh, and nice save the other way. Finally saying, hey, there's two goalies playing in this game. Jack Donovan, after Gordy Bennett had gotten free.
That's a big ground ball right there. Got the save. Reset of the 60-second shot clock. Got their personnel in. Let's see what can happen.
Newell. It also felt for a second there like Bennett knew that he had the step, but he was kind of hesitating a little bit.
It almost seemed like he didn't realize how open he was. Good skip.
From the opposite side. Now Newell, two defenders go to him. I mean, somebody's got to be free. Cavaliers can't find him. Newell from way outside. That's kicked aside. It bounces back towards midfield. This is not an over and back situation. Yeah, that's not, and you can hear the fans saying, whoa, no over and back. What are we talking about? Yeah, the officials have to talk about this because that was, unless it was blocked. So I will have to, if they're saying the shot was blocked.
It went off of Loyola's ankle based on
what
I saw from the referee signaling down there. But, you got to give a little bit of credit to these referees. We're tough on them most times, but, they got a lot going on at one time.
The over and back, if a shot gets through to the goal and just happens to ricochet all the way back, that does not qualify as an over and back situation. But again, if the shot was blocked, did not get through, then no longer the case, and that's what they ruled. 3.5 remaining in the second quarter. Dons still have not scored here in the second. Good job defensively and a heck of a quarter for Newman. Running shot, and there's another. Hello, Newman.
Seen the ball well today.
Denies Duran. Actually, sorry, that was Rush. Looking to make the move, Cook. It wasn't there, so they keep it moving. Works its back way. It's way to Rush. Rush gets shoved back, defense. Man, like 3-4 yards. Aggressive defending from La Rochelle. Move in front, nowhere close to the cage from Mason Hill.
I think that might be a Spalding. Ball went out on the sideline.
They disagree politely.
Yeah, I thought Grayson Dunn was there.
Andrew Scally, I'd never argue with you. Those loving eyes. Running shot from Cook, not on target. Still 22 on the possession clock. Rush, back up top. Dodging to his left, Hill, another one, not on cage.
Right here, if I'm Coach Cottle, I'm talking to my attackman right here and saying, guys, we got to get a possession. Defense is playing, 2 minutes worth of defense here. There's 2.5 minutes left in the half. Got to get the ball down here, settle up, get a good possession, and go into halftime potentially with a lead.
It's going to be a shot clock violation whether or not they pick up the ground ball. Because they picked it up cleanly, they were going to let them push. Kaufman didn't see the path, so Spalding will have to work this through in order to get the clear.
Got to hustle here,
Yeah,
5
got to
seconds.
move 5 seconds. La Rochelle able to snap it forward to Wilbur. Oh boy, well, Wilbur was awfully dangerously close to going back over.
Well, I think they still had a couple seconds.
Did
so
they
it
still have
could,
a second?
Yeah,
Okay.
so
All
splitting the
right.
line
It
there.
was close.
With that clearing clock on, you're still okay, but it was definitely close.
Yeah,
a little too close for comfort.
Once the clock hits 60, cannot go back over. That shot won't go for Wolf.
So a minute 30 here. I wouldn't be surprised if you get a timeout call. I mean, I would like it didn't come out of the last time out well, but want to make sure to maintain possession down.
Maybe not run the same play
exactly,
out of the timeout.
Yeah.
Malik gets it back.
Got the shorty matchup here, which I like. Look for a lot of movement up top in an early slide.
And that's Jack Wonder. Now they get the switch. So Wolf dodging right, trying to get free to Matassa. Matassa, great move. That's knocked down and taken away. 1 minute remaining in the half. Blakefield gets it back. Now will they take their second timeout and set something up? Wonder brings it up, and there is that timeout. 48 seconds remaining in the second quarter. Blakefield's going to try to draw something up to retake the lead.
Timeout blue.
Before halftime.
Yeah, it's obviously a little bit different of a situation here, given the time on the game clock here. With timeout with 48 seconds is a lot different than a timeout with a minute 48. But I still go back to that last possession by Spalding. Maintaining possession and having the ball die on the offensive side of the field, either with a goal or the clock running out, is, that's a win. Versus now, you're putting your defense back on their heels. They've just played, a long, I would say 2.5 minute possession before, did their job, got the ball up, and now they're forced to make another stop here with 48 seconds left in a tie game. So this last play is going to be a huge momentum driver for either team, whether it's a stop defensively for Spalding or if it's a goal by Loyola.
Well, I was going to ask, is perhaps the timeout taken by the Dons here a bit of a blessing for the Cavaliers, given, to your point, how long they've been out there defending on the previous possession?
Yeah, I mean, it's nice getting their, catching their breath, and gives Coach Hockel and Coach Gunner an opportunity to, get organized defensively and maybe predict, what Loyola is going to come out of timeout with. But either way, I think, as I said earlier, the best defense is a good offense. And if the ball dies on that side of the field, like I mentioned, I think the defense is happy, and, those coaches don't have to go to the whiteboard to draw anything up.
Luke Rush will have it off the restart, as you presume that the Dons will look to take this down for the final-ish shot of the quarter.
Looks like he has Spalding in his zone here, so we'll see how Loyola can respond to it. Looks like they're going to try and take it down to a low shot clock situation.
And Duran drifting wide, probably under 20 before they would consider going. With 30, a little bit of engagement there from Gunning. Now he gets it back up top. Rush to Gunning as they work it through the midfield. 16 seconds. Duran thought about firing from well outside. Instead, works it back to X under 10 seconds. Fed up top. Shot. Newman again. Denies Gunning. Flicks it down. Not going to get a shot off. That'll be how the first half comes to a close. Spalding able to shut out Loyola Blakefield in the second quarter. And they draw the game level. At the half, you're watching Archbishop Spalding Lacrosse.
At the end.
Getting out the car, walking to school, I was anxious, nervous.
It's a bigger school than I've ever been to. Didn't know any faces.
I remember sitting in that homeroom and feeling all of the nerves and the anticipation and excitement of what high school could bring. But but I quickly found out that this was going to be not just my school, but my home.
Everybody had open arms.
There's a genuine love for one another.
Everybody knows everybody.
I care about all of the people I'm surrounded with every day.
When you choose Archbishop Spalding High School to be your home, you're getting a large school that feels like a small family.
You are never alone in this experience at all.
At the end of your time at Spalding, you're going to remember how Spalding lifted you up in the most positive way.
You're always going to feel that connection. You're going to want to come back home.
The Spalding community is definitely one that I would describe as united.
There's a genuine desire to serve, to exemplify Christ.
And we see that every day in this building, from something as small as a senior helping a freshman with their locker, a teacher comforting a student. We see it in the smallest and the largest acts of kindness.
I knew it would actually be my calling to strengthen the faith life of the students that were around me in the way that I had my faith life strengthened as a student here before.
There's a million different people, a million different backgrounds. People come from all over the world, but the fact that we can all come together on faith, that's literally the embodiment of one body in Christ.
The growth of this school is unbelievable to me. The opportunities that are afforded to these students, it's impressive.
The nature of our size impacts the growth because of the options that our size enables us to offer our students. We're very deliberate about knowing emerging trends. We have so many different academic programs. We have so many different co-curricular programs.
If there is anything that is of interest to you, all you need to do is ask.
It's great to see how the school and the athletic facilities have improved over the years.
When I have friends who are alumni reach out to me and I tell them that there's now an engineering building, it tells you the health of the school, which is embodied by the people who make it up. That's why it's been so successful. That's why there's so many opportunities at this school.
I think I immediately knew when I came for that open house 7th grade that like everything I had heard was true.
I didn't know what to expect because I'd never been to a Catholic school. I didn't know much about it.
It invited me into a lifetime of experiences that have been unforgettable.
The kids are passionate. You walk in, there's a little bit of electricity in the building. That's hard to describe. It's something that you feel.
I care about school now. I care about all of the people I'm surrounded with every day. I know that they care about me. And it's this sense of community that's enabled me to be able to push myself.
And grow through service. I feel like it made me a well-rounded human being.
I know that Spalding has everything here for all of my children, academically, emotionally, physically.
Whether it's clubs, whether it's sports, they're going to be leaders in and out of the classroom.
What I hope and pray is that at the end of your time at Spalding, you're going to remember how you felt, respected, included, and that you always felt one in Christ.
The opportunities afforded to these students just really speak to the success of this school. It's impressive.
It's more than just learning at school. Like, it's taught me how to treat people, how to grow in my faith, rather than just giving me an education and sending me off to college.
When you choose the Spalding experience, what you're getting is an environment that cares for the individual. This is a place where we welcome people home.
You're gonna grow so much.
I know it may be nerve-wracking. This school is bigger than what you're probably used to.
This school, this community is truly like no other.
You will find innovation, a deepened faith life, family.
You're about to have a very crazy ride, but some of the best years of your life.
I still remember my first day.
We get to school, and my mom is like, don't be nervous. And I'm like, I'm not nervous. But I was freaking out.
I really had no clue what I was walking into.
Everything was unknown and uncertain.
What if I don't find my friend group? What clubs am I going to join? Did I bring my lunchbox?
Each step that I took closer, I could feel my heart race, this mixture of anticipation and excitement, the fear of the unknown.
From the moment stepping on campus, I immediately knew everything I had heard was true. I found what I was looking for.
A lifetime of experiences that have been unforgettable.
High school is where you figure out who you are. And Spalding cares about that.
Academics, activities, there's something here for everybody.
Whatever it is that you are looking for, we'll provide it for you.
The most challenging, relevant, cutting-edge programs, the International Baccalaureate Project lead the way.
You look at the students, they're leaders. They're challenging themselves academically and spiritually. And it starts in the classroom and then transitions directly onto the field.
The community here is one that genuinely cares about each other.
We celebrate together. We all feel the school spirit.
That we all come together on faith.
We are truly the embodiment of one in Christ.
The two questions that we answer with every decision that's made here. Do we support the mission? Are we caring for our students? Yes, of course, calculus is important. Maybe you run a championship-winning team. But what I hope and pray is that our students remember how we made them feel, and that we made them feel respected, important, and that they very much felt a part and welcomed at Archbishop Spalding.
Take a deep breath.
You're going to grow so much.
You're going to be prepared for success in college and in life.
You will find a deepened faith.
Become a leader.
You're going to be pushed more than you ever have been before.
It's going to be difficult.
And this community will help you become the best version of yourself.
You're about to have some of the best days of your lives here.
And when you look back, you will realize you were always part of something bigger.
I still remember my first day.
You're going to grow so much.
You're going to be prepared for success in college and in life.
You will find a deepened faith.
Become a leader.
You're going to be pushed more than you ever have been before.
It's going to be difficult.
And this community will help you become the best version of yourself.
You're about to have some of the best days of your lives here.
And when you look back, you will realize you were always part of something bigger.
I just realized no one heard what I just said, Andrew. So I've got to tell everybody again.
Take it from the top.
Start of the second half. Glenn Clark, Andrew Scally with you from Whittlesfield. Archbishop Spalding, Loyola Blakefield tied at 3 apiece. I made the mistake of muting the microphones at the half so that no one could hear all of the secrets that we were telling everyone here. And then I forgot I had to unmute the microphones in order to get us to be able to talk again. I'm having a banner day.
Flustered, it might be an understatement.
Shoot. Man.
But you're always second half team. Second half announcer.
That's a great point. That's what they've always said. All right, how does Spalding get going offensively, Andrew?
I like what I saw, honestly, in the first half, but the one thing that they got to do, and it was one of my keys to the game, is they got to clean up the turnovers. A couple unforced turnovers led to Loyola opportunities, and this has been a game of runs and momentum. Granted, it's not a high-scoring game so far, but it's definitely been, momentum-driven. And so if Spalding can get the momentum and maintain it by taking care of the ball, they'll be in a much better spot.
First face-off violation of the second half for the Dons, and the dominance for Ryan Criswell continues, and that's probably the most frustrating part is you're getting an utterly dominant performance at the face-off dot. You just haven't been able to use it to your advantage because of too many issues like that. And that'll be a turnover. Well, indeed, on the third try, it will be a turnover as Bing Birch, I'm sorry, that's actually number 39, that's Peter Lake. If you feel like you recognize the name Peter Lake, it's one of a few reasons. One, he's a heck of a player. There's a reason why he's headed to play at the University of Maryland next season. But also, perhaps you might be familiar with the story from back in 2021 when he had to be revived on the field during a game after suffering commodio cordis after being hit in the chest with the ball. It was an extraordinarily scary scene, but thankfully Jeremy Parr, the athletic training staff at Loyola, they knew exactly what to do, had an AED available right by the field. And much like the miracle that was Damar Hamlin's life being saved on the field for the Buffalo Bills a couple years ago, Peter Lake was revived right there and was able to get back to lacrosse pretty soon thereafter.
Yeah, unbelievable story.
And reminds you what the heroes athletic trainers are, as the moving screen will be called there. And how grateful we are and how important it is for every school to be prepared for those situations to be playing out and to know what to do. And a group of professionals knew exactly what to do.
Should be an offsides here.
And the flag does come out.
But yeah, the Lake family has to be, and the entire community grateful for those first responders on it.
And it's not just the trainer. In that story, there were, I believe, a doctor happened to be in attendance as well. Just a lot of people who knew exactly what to do in a difficult situation. And you get a little emotional about those kind of everyday heroes, man. Joey Matassa trying to get free. Lake all over him. Good move by Wilbur, but not able to take advantage. Two defenders go with them. Wolf dodges right. Way too far out to try to get a shot. Down to 15 on the possession clock. Newell, as Wolf hits the deck. Newell's got nowhere to go, sends it back to X. Well,
picked off.
Yep. So we'll find out about the offsides, and for the second time tonight, Archbishop Spalding will go on the extra man.
Spalding goes man up.
Appreciate my partner stepping in there because he could tell that the sun was an issue for me.
It was a guess.
I was
I didn't see the ball fly across the end line. I didn't see Spalding driving to the cage. So I, put two and two together.
I tend to root for the Clouds when we get these 4 o'clock games here at Whittles Field. Walk in. Let's go Clouds. Let's go Clouds. Right in front. Perfect. Textbook man-up offense. And the finish for Jack Newell to put Spalding back in front.
Goal by Jack Newell.
And honestly, not much there. I feel like it was early in the possession. Defense wasn't really flying around. I think they kind of caught him sleeping there, but worked out for Spalding.
Jack Newell, his first of the day, his 10th of the season. Connor Wilbur's second assist today. Team high 17th on the year and 22nd point. He's wearing number 7, Connor Wilbur. He is the leader. And he puts the Cavaliers back in front 4-3. Another face-off win to follow it up for Ryan Criswell. Now this is where Spalding has a genuine opportunity. The way that Criswell is facing off today, the opportunity to get in front and play make it, take it here in the second half.
Yeah,
you got to keep converting to do that.
You do, and Spalding has been, the past couple years, kind of a feast or famine type team. So if they can level out, these valleys, have more peaks, maintain possession, I think they got to stay consistent. And so what I worry about is playing with a lead and taking your foot off that gas pedal. It can, lead to a careless turnover. So let's see how they respond here. But you're right, having Criswell dominate as much as he has. Let's face off ice is huge.
Swiderski gets rid of it just in time, works back in front. Bennett's shot up in the air, plucked down by Mollett. Still time to Matassa. Matassa skips it home. Oh, this game is his recital. He thinks it's very vital.
Do it to him.
To rock a rhyme, that's right on time. Hat tricky is Joey Matassa's title. And it's 5-3 Spalding with 7:43 to play in the third quarter. And here they go, playing a little make it, take it.
Glenn, when you have calls like that, it makes, those solo opportunities for me like I had at the start of the broadcast.
What did you have
a
prepared?
little bit more, nerve-wracking.
What were your goal calls going to be?
I had nothing.
Did you have something,
I think it was
boom goes the dynamite maybe?
Stare blankly into the camera and, hope for the best. Pray you show up soon.
So a face-off violation the other way. First of the second half for the Cavaliers.
Great start to the third quarter. That's exactly what Spalding needed. They won the face-off battle. Go man up. First time in a while that they've capitalized on the man up opportunity, but they kept it simple. So look for that to be kind of the theme on the next man up opportunity. Is just let's connect the dots. Let's find the open man and put it back in the net.
We are forced to remind that they scored the first two of the first quarter as well and had a lot of momentum there, but then a 3-0 run for Loyola after that. So got to get the job done defensively in order to be able to seize. Kaufman, hung up.
That's okay. As soon as he got hung up, they dropped into a zone, and you're playing more of a space than a man. So as long as someone, isn't in your zone, you're seeing man and ball, and you're playing team defense.
Juarez picks it up, gives it to Cook, whose shot is not on target. 26 seconds remaining on the possession clock for the Dons.
Looks like they're back in their man-to-man here.
Juarez. Kaufman again hung up.
Maybe not. Maybe they're still in their zone here.
16, so Hill can't hold on to this forever. He had a couple of opportunities, doesn't take either one. Now he tries to work wide against Kaufman. Kaufman
Good
giving
defense.
him no quarter. Hill slings it towards the middle. I didn't even know if that was going to get through. It ultimately be picked up by Klein, but no time left on the possession clock.
Big
and the
stop.
Cavaliers get the stand.
Crowd's loving it. Sideline's loving it. It's a big stop there for Spalding.
What a start to the second half for the Cavaliers. Wilbur swims back the other way, completes the clear. Spalding scored the first two here in the third quarter, trying to stretch the lead out a little bit, build up a little confidence as they look for the first conference win of the Evan Hockel era. Moss, the old school two-way defender. Or two-way midfielder is what I meant to say. I don't think there could be a two-way defender. That doesn't make a lick of sense. Wilbur steps into it. Backups there.
I like what they're doing here, bringing a short stick defender, potentially get this two-man game going for Matassa behind.
Gives it back to Moss. Moss has the matchup. Gives it to Mollett.
Hasn't hung up again.
Yep. But only 15 on the possession clock. They got to be communicating. Can't wait forever. Mollett's going to have to make a move at some point. And now here he is. Mollett gets a... Oh,
wow,
what a find.
handle.
Was that
What a
intentional? Jake Wolf. Let me hear it.
I don't know if it's... I mean, is it worthy?
Why wouldn't it be?
Oh!
There it is. Second of the game for Wolf. 6-3 Spalding. And the Dons need a timeout.
I think I was still scratching my head there. How did he catch that ball? How did he finish it? What am I watching?
I honestly thought at first that was just a... do you think that was an intentional pass from Mollett? Or he was just pushing that ball in the direction of the goal, hoping for the best with the shot clock winding down?
For stats' sake, yes, it was 100% intentional.
Intentional pass.
It was intentional.
Very good. Hey, I want to tell you a little bit about Jake Wolf because Jake Wolf is the definition, this family is the definition of a Spalding family. we got this email this week. Jake, a third-generation Spalding student, maternal grandmother Karen Craig, who was then Karen Gunther, graduated Spalding in 1971. His dad, Dan, graduated in 93, also played attack and wore number 3 for the Cavaliers lacrosse team. And he was, at the time of his graduation, the all-time scoring leader for Spalding lacrosse with 154 points. Was captain of the lacrosse and football teams during his sophomore, junior, and senior seasons. Jake's uncle James graduated in 2000, also played attack and wore number 3 for a team that won the B Conference championship. Jake has 2 female cousins who play lacrosse at Spalding. McKenna Davis from the class of 2020 and Aiden Davis from the class of 2022. His cousin Brody Davis wearing number 3, a freshman a year ago on that freshman and sophomore boys lacrosse team. He's got a sister and another cousin, Ellie and Tillman, who also attended Spalding. A true Spalding family.
Pretty impressive. We'll get to the other half
at our
next intermission.
There's actually still more, and I'm not kidding about that on this list. There is still more unbelievable connections.
Either way, making a name for himself today. Unbelievable catch and finish there.
Shot blocked down. Cook trying to track it back down. Will actually be picked up over in the corner by Jacob Klein. So possession stays with the Dons. It's an unbelievable story about the connection between Jake Wolf's family and Archbishop Spalding. And he is continuing that legacy, and what a play he just made on the doorstep. Finding that ball and putting it home, and there couldn't have been more than a second left on the possession.
That's what I was going to say. That the overlooked fact of that play was exactly that. Half a second longer to catch and finish that. It's a turnover.
So Don's needing to convert. Newman, no.
Newman's a great save.
Jacob Newman and fuego this afternoon. What a day he's had. Go back to that second quarter when Spalding was struggling offensively. Newman really picked this team up. Jamison Kaufman's going to decide that discretion's the better part of valor there.
Yeah, that's a play that's not going to show up on the stat sheet, but that's just a great veteran play by Jamison, pulling that out, realizing he didn't have the numbers he was looking for, didn't have the look, pulled it out, maintained possession.
Moss from up top. Spalding has scored 3 unanswered goals here in the third quarter. Loyola Blakefield has not scored since the first quarter. Wolf drops it off from Matassa. Matassa back behind to Axon Mollet. Defender hung up again. More time, 25 seconds this time. Feeds it in front. Oh, but Matassa denied. Is that a different goalie who's in? I believe it is. It's Jesse D'Alonzo, who's in cage now for Loyola Blakefield. Coming up with the save. Two and a half remaining in the third quarter. D'Alonzo making a big save to try to keep the Dons in it. As that one feels like it might have broken things wide open. A flag comes out. I didn't see it. What was it?
Yeah, I didn't see it either. My guess, it was off ball. It could have been an interference call.
Mason Hill working wide.
Yeah, anytime you have a new goalie come in, you got your defenders that rally around you, but you make a save, it just compounds that momentum and come down here, draw a penalty.
Step down Newman again. And you can see the frustration from Jake Duran, who's like, that was a great look, and it was. It was a good look. It was a good shot. It was just a better save from Newman. First extra man opportunity of the day for the Dons.
Yeah, offensively, sometimes you got to tip your cap to the goalie. He makes a good play.
Newman has been great today. I don't know if we've talked about it. Did I ever tell you what the fun fact was that Jacob Newman gave us for the season?
If you did, I've forgotten. Lay it on us.
So the one that's somewhat interesting is that he strings sticks. That's interesting enough. But the one that he really liked, and I had fun with as well, Jacob Newman. His dad's last name is Newman. His mom's last name is Kramer.
Ah.
Yeah,
Ah.
you got it, right? I'm actually surprised that Jacob Newman is even familiar with Seinfeld, considering it was off the air, I want to say, like 20 years before he was born. But
nevertheless, he will never escape that.
Certainly won't.
My question is more so on the former fun fact. The string of the sticks. Is he stringing strictly goalie sticks?
Right.
Or is he offense, defense? Is he...
And working in front. Oh, my gosh. Newman.
Another big save.
You kidding me? Ground ball for Newell. Gives it back to Newman as the penalty ran up. So back to even strength. Good kill for the Cavaliers. And they get it back with a chance to hold for the final shot of the third quarter.
By Jacob Newman.
Well-deserved celebration for Newman right there.
So, to your point, if he strings all sticks, at what point do you end up becoming like the guy that everyone goes to? And is it better for you to not let anyone know that you string sticks?
Very valid question. You're asking the wrong guy.
Because you didn't do it.
I did not do it. I was not that guy.
I feel like maybe that's something that you just maybe keep to yourself. Jake Wolf letting this thing drift down.
Sending a short stick out to him, potentially get a switch here.
Wolf working along that end line. Good movement. Wilbur up top. Newell, there it is.
Bang, bang. Jack Newell.
Newell steps down for his second of the game. 4 straight goals in the third, 5 straight overall for the Cavaliers. The lead is 4. It's 7-3.
It starts with just a good hard dodge coming from behind. Defender falls. Maybe their feet got tangled up a little bit, but drew a slide, found the open man. One more pass to a nice step down shot. You can't draw it up any better than that.
Still time here with 13.4 seconds remaining.
Especially with Criswell's facing off.
No
he popped
doubt.
this forward.
And instead, wow, a second face-off violation. So that is very relevant because, of course, the next one would trigger a penalty. So does that affect how Criswell faces off? 2 seconds left. And Newman, how about one more for the road?
He's feeling it.
Why not?
He's feeling it.
What a quarter for the Cavaliers. They outscore Blakefield 4-0 in the third and lead 7-3 after 3. You're watching Archbishop Spalding Lacrosse.
At the end of the third quarter.
Hallmarks of a Spalding athlete. Are they able to compete at the highest level possible? Spalding is positioned very uniquely because they are in one of the best leagues in the state. When they're competing at a high level, that's big time.
It was always known as a great academic school, but we wanted to build a full-rounded school for student athletes. And we knew that they could get to where they're at today.
Since I've graduated from high school, I've watched the campus grow astronomically. Spalding, it laid a foundation for my understanding of teamwork, friendship, and things that were so much bigger than what happened on the basketball court.
They're challenging themselves academically and spiritually, and it transitions directly onto the field where that consistency molds and shapes everybody that's involved.
The future of Spalding athletically is strong and vibrant, and I'm excited for our Cavs.
Can't pretend that I've been able to watch every quarter of lacrosse this season because, unfortunately, not all the road games have high-level broadcasts. But Andrew Scally, I just got to imagine, given that we're talking about an A-conference opponent, I feel like that's got to be the best quarter of lacrosse that Spalding's played this season.
I would agree, and it's top to bottom. Defensively, I think it all starts with Newman between the pipes. I mean, he's just lights out right now, seeing everything. And then what's most impressive is once he makes the save, his ability to come out of the cage and make plays in the clearing game, it definitely kept him in that third quarter and gave him that momentum edge. And then offensively, once the ball gets down on that side of the field, they're sharing the ball well. Coming to the game, 70% of their goals are assisted. I mean, that's a pretty high number, which goes to show there's a lot of team offense being played. I don't have the stats in front of me right now, but I would imagine that the last handful of goals we saw in that third quarter were all assisted. So hopefully continue that and keep this momentum going for the fourth quarter.
So that'll be out and back the way of the Dons. Keep in mind, Ryan Criswell and the Cavaliers holding on to 2 face-off violations coming into this fourth quarter. In a 7-3 game, I can't imagine that you're letting that impact the way that you face off at all. But if this were to get closer, I feel like that could become relevant. And offsides? Ooh, boy, how does that happen? A gift for Spalding.
Yeah, I was looking downfield. I didn't see what happened. Definitely in the subbing game. Here's Hopper trying to make a big play.
All the way in front. Hopper not able to get it on Cage. Boy, that was actually a golden opportunity at the end, but certainly not easy to shoot with that long pole.
Yeah, definitely a tight quarter. And honestly, I think they might have gotten away with one there. I thought when the ball went out, Loyola's goalie and close defender were actually closer, but Wolf wins the battle.
First minute of the fourth quarter. Cavaliers in front, 7-3. Glenn Clark, Andrew Scally with you. Spalding looks to improve to 1-1 in conference play. Trying to keep up that high level they were playing with and that energy. You could see how fired up the bench was. Crowds into it. Wilbur able to thread the needle to Mollett, but Mollett didn't like the look. Before he gets to midfield, good job of getting back and saving that one by Newell.
Still got 10 on the shot clock here, but got to go.
Yeah. Couple of hop steps from Bennett. Bennett eludes the first defender, but he's going to run out of room. Gets it to Mollett. Mollett tries to go behind the back. Was that necessary there?
You know what? He had a low angle. His hands were jammed. He didn't really have much. I think it took a little bit more time than, a quick stick, traditional shot. But either way, got it off. Big save by Loyola.
Yeah, it did well, to your point, just to get any shot off. Now racing in front. Rush. Did he step in the crease? He did.
Sure did. It's a little sloppy play here to start this fourth quarter. And what Spalding can't have happen is they can't just get into that, sloppy transition, push tempo type play. Loyola wants them to play. Right now they got to stick with the game plan, go back to what's been working for them. But most importantly, they got to keep their foot on the gas pedal, but they got to be under control.
Under 10 minutes. And Cavaliers are in great shape with a 4-goal lead, but it's not done yet. I hate to be the one to point it out, but remember, they surrendered the final 4 goals in the fourth quarter to Boys Latin on Tuesday. So they got to know this one is far from over.
Glenn, are you jinxing us?
I feel like if you bring it up, then that's exactly what it is.
I feel
like it's like talking about when your team is getting no-hit, you want to talk about the no-hitter because you're trying to mess with it. Well, if I bring up the fact that it happened the other day, then it couldn't possibly happen again. Shot from Matassa, not on target, and they're going to give the backup this time to the goalie, Jesse D'Alonso. So that's frustrating.
Yeah, and right there, Mollitt's just a little bit out of position, and the reason he was is because he's been so successful with that hang-up game, which involves staying in front of the goal to the last second to then pop behind to catch that defender sleeping in front. So right there, just a half step too late and missed the backup opportunity.
Blakefield still has not scored since the first quarter. Got to get things going if they're going to have any path back into this. And there it is. Well, you know what? Now it might be like a broadcaster jinx.
Quick, reverse it back. Yep. Reverse it back.
Jake Duran on the run. Gets his first of the day. Cuts it to 7-4 with 8:34 to play. Told you, there's still more work to be done. Dons weren't just going to go away, go run and hide because Spalding jumped out to a 4-goal lead. That ends the drought of more more than 2 quarters without scoring for Loyola Blakefield. Back to the dot. And a good ground ball from Wilbur. Cavaliers have to work it backwards, so now they got to go get the clear.
Well done there, good composure. That's a big face-off win. Great wing play there.
Yeah, you bring that up, somebody would say, how big of a it's about momentum, right? Like, all of a sudden, you're Blakefield, you get a big goal, you follow it up with a face-off win, you start to feel like we're right back in this thing.
Yep. And I know I sound like a broken record today, but the best defense is good offense. So as long as the ball is moving, right to left here, and then taking time off the clock, it rests your defense. And then what it does more importantly is it makes Loyola feel like they got to go when they got the ball. And when they feel that pressure, often leads to mistakes in playing, outside themselves, and that's also advantageous for Spalding.
Yeah. Bennett pulls the trigger there. He was well covered, and the shot wasn't particularly close. 28 seconds. Mollett trying to make a move. He's pushed back all the way to the end line. He escaped his defender for a second. Didn't try to force anything. Resets. 15 seconds. Ball comes out.
What we saw there, Mollett drew a short stick off the 2-man game, kept the matchup, pulled the long pole away, but as soon as Loyola recognized that they had a disadvantage, they dropped into a zone and slid quickly with a long pole to Mollett. And unfortunately, Mollett, didn't time the pass up right and got a good deflection there.
Still lots of time. 7 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. Loyola Blakefield trying to mount a comeback. Trailing 7-4. Well outside that one, not on target. Jack Gunning still looking for his first goal today. Defender hung up. However, that'll be closed in on. Spalding in the zone.
Yeah, I think right now this game is going to come down to not only the physical toughness of Spalding and their ability to compete, but also their mental toughness. I mean, we've seen throughout the season playing from behind, playing with a lead, and there hasn't been enough consistency with it. So if you can keep your team focused here as a coaching staff and make sure they continue to stay with the game plan that have gotten to the 7-4 lead, they'll be in a good position.
Down to 10 seconds. Cook made the first move. Shot blocked. Still down on the turf.
Oh, that's not a push.
They're going to call it. So I guess it wasn't blocked. They're going to say that got through. I thought it was blocked in front, but it got through apparently to Newman. So a new 60. I guess it wouldn't have mattered because the push would have given it to him anyway. But it looked like they had already given the reset before the push.
Spalding in his zone here, trying to slow Loyola down.
Go past the midway point of the fourth quarter. And another one, yep, another push.
A couple bailout calls, in my opinion. It had been ticky-tack, low contact
I think
plays.
You're right, but I would give credit to Gunning for forcing a shot that had no hope there to try to draw attention to the contact in that spot.
I'm just dying to say the ball don't lie.
Well, Robbie Hopper forces it out, and
the ball doesn't lie.
Robbie Hopper all over it, wins it, picks up the ground ball. Kaufman whips it ahead to Wolf. Cavaliers able to get the clear. Now can they convert? Great look in front, but the ball does not get caught.
Big ground
Mollett
ball.
was looking for Kaufman. Mollett comes away with it, moves it to Wolf. Wolf denied. Oh, that was a great look for Wolf, too.
Talking with Coach Hockel before the game, he said we got to be like poker players and know when to hold them and know when to fold them. I think in that situation right there, you got away with one. You think you're playing with house money, but you got to pull that out and realize, hey, guys, we missed our opportunity. We got a 3-goal lead here. We got 4.5 minutes left in the game. Let's maintain possession, take another 60 seconds off the clock or more.
I hear everything you're saying, and I don't necessarily disagree. To play devil's advocate, that was a pretty good look for Wolf, though.
It was. And that might be a...
no, they're going to keep it down here.
Close call there. Yeah, it's one of those plays, if it goes, you're saying, that's why they're great at what they're doing, but it didn't. And I think they had that first opportunity, and since they didn't capitalize that on that play and kind of a up-tempo type play, you got to say, okay, great. We had it, now it's gone. Let's settle things up.
Still about 30 on the possession clock for the Dons. Way outside, letting it fly. Jores.
A 15-yard step down. As a goalie and as a defense, you're going to give those shots up, especially with the way that Newman's been seeing the ball today.
Jores, the future Vermont Catamount.
Spalding's going to kind of tempt them to take those long shots.
Good move in front. Luke Rush gets his second of the game. And don't look now, but with 3:42 remaining, it's a 2-goal game, 7-5.
And that's one of the downfalls, playing that zone. You got to be communicating constantly, because what happens if you get beat underneath, the next zone guy has to vacate his man. You have to have a fill slide, and right there Spalding was kind of caught sleeping, got beat 1-on-1. Slide was late. Loyola put in the back of the net. Big face-off here.
3:42 remaining, 2-goal game all of a sudden. Ball's back in the air. Somebody's got to find it, and it'll be picked up by Wilbur. And they're going to take a timeout with 3.5 remaining. So they don't want to force anything. Spalding trying to hang on. Could really use one more goal here to feel much better about their circumstances, but a huge ground ball for Wilbur and a big-time face-off win. Coming up for the Cavaliers, they're back out on the road on Tuesday at Gilman. Then they return home next Friday night to host St. Mary's. That'll be our next broadcast of Archbishop Spalding Lacrosse. Coming up for Loyola Blakefield, they are off on Tuesday, so they get a week off before they host Boys Latin next Friday. Then they'll be at St. Mary's the following Tuesday. 3:30 remaining in the fourth quarter. Spalding in front, 7-5. Glenn Clark, Andrew Scally with you. Andrew, I referenced what happened on Tuesday. Does any of that creep back into the minds? Oh boy, here we go again.
I don't think so. I think Coach Hockel and the rest of the coaching staff are probably pretty adamant at practice. Guys, we learned a lot about ourselves. We learned a lot about what's working, what's not. It comes down to just getting back to the basics, catching and throwing, winning the ground ball battle, being tougher than the opponent, and competing. So right here with 3 minutes and 30 seconds left, up 2, I think you stick with the game plan. I think you continue to push tempo slightly, play within the system. And one thing I'll keep an eye on here is at some point Loyola is going to have to press out a little bit more and force the issue, knowing that they have 2 goals to at least tie it and potentially extend the game.
But I wouldn't on this possession. I wouldn't think yet.
Not yet.
Yeah,
not yet. So if they get towards the end of the shot clock, I would see some heightened pressure for sure to make Spalding think a little bit. But at some point they're going to have to make a decision. If that goalie comes out, Spalding's got to be aware, playing with their head up, ready to capitalize.
If they were to get a reset, for example. 3:30 remaining, 75 on the shot clock. So the Cavaliers have the opportunity to take this thing down under 2.5 remaining. If they could get down to that range and score a goal, that might be what puts it on ice.
Look, you're seeing face guards on everybody.
Wolf out of the restart, gives it to Wilbur. Cavaliers do still have a timeout remaining. So if they were to end up in trouble, they could protect possession still. Don still have 1 timeout as well.
A lot of confidence right now with the ball in Wilbur's stick. Handling pressure, not forcing it.
Well, he's your senior leader. Pile up behind the cage, fed up front.
You got to find one of these shorty matchups again and attack it.
Cavaliers not forcing anything.
And I like this 4-on-4 matchup right here.
Mollett drifting over towards the corner with Matthew on him.
Look for a quick slide and a step down here with Jake Wolf.
20 seconds. Mollett, couple of fakes. Out to
Oh, I
Wolf.
thought I had it.
Nope, he didn't pull the trigger. Now Wilbur back to him. Wolf, almost no angle. That's off the bar. Wow, what a ground ball from Wilbur. He's in trouble. And did they call the timeout?
They
there
got
it is. Exactly what we were talking about. That's an unbelievable ground ball in traffic from Wilbur.
Timeout Spalding.
And I say ground ball, I guess technically it's a rebound, right?
I don't know what you call it, but it was a hell of a play. And, you know, 2 defenders draped all over him. It's a great handle.
So Wolf did well to get that on Cage. And then a hot shot rebound to Wilbur. Now, that is the final timeout for the Cavaliers. So they get the new 60 and a chance to get this thing down under 1.5. So we re-rack. Is now when the Dons start to press, or can they still defend this thing out for the rest of this possession?
Well, out of that last timeout, we saw some, definitely increased pressure. Saw kind of a shut-off look from Loyola. Once you beat that initial pressure, you have to call the dogs off and kind of sink back in. Otherwise, you're leaving your on-ball defender kind of on an island there. If he gets beat, it's going to end up in a layup. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see that same pressure off this restart. But for Spalding, I mentioned as soon as Wilbur, made his first move, he's carrying that ball with a lot of confidence. But he was running around for about 15 seconds, so he's going to be winded. So this is as much about the other 5 guys off ball as, the player with the ball in his stick. You got to be working hard, driving into your man, stepping away, and making that an easy pass for, defender or for an offensive player with the ball to make that pass and catch his breath.
2:19 remaining. 57 seconds on the possession clock, but no more timeouts for the Cavaliers. If they're in trouble, they're going to have to get themselves out of it. Trying to guide this thing across the finish line. They led by as many as 4 here in the fourth quarter at 7-3. Right now it's a 2-goal game at 7-5.
So here, Wolf with a long pole. You want to, if you're a short stick defender on, you got to be working hard. V-cut here to get the ball out of Wolf's stick. A lot more confidence dodging against a short pole versus a long pole.
Wolf.
And you got an interference call, flag down.
So now
you want to eat all 30 seconds of this.
Absolutely no reason to be thinking about shooting unless, you're standing by yourself in front of the cage, I guess.
He still needs help here. A little tired.
Oh, that ball will slow down. Just
tough.
Time, yeah.
Another 15 seconds left on that shot clock. He would have liked to kill all 15 of it before going to the man up.
But the man up is coming nonetheless.
And it's only a 30-second interference call. I think that's the 3rd interference call of the game, between both teams. I don't know if they talked about it before the game and wanted to, get the dust off those calls. That's more than I've seen all season. But either way, with 30 seconds, you can get this thing down to a minute. The most important thing here is if you don't have a shot in that 30 seconds, do not force it.
No, because you got another 30 seconds of possession, right?
Maintain possession and play 6v6.
Josh Hallam serving the penalty, the future VMI Keydette.
And here you're seeing even more pressure from the Dons extending out past the box.
And this sort of feels like Loyola's way of saying, look, a goal isn't the end of the world to us. The end of the world is that we just don't get any possession the rest of the way.
Spalding has to connect 2 passes here, and they're going to need a layup. Just got to be patient.
Understandably, they bring D'Alonzo out to try to help defending. Cavaliers, penalties up, yep, back to even strength. But another 30 seconds as we go under a minute to play in the fourth quarter.
So here what I want to see Spalding do is take this shorty-shorty matchup behind the cage, and I've mentioned it in previous broadcasts. If there's ever a turnover.
Goal was open. Wilbur not able to put it home.
If there's a turnover, you want on the end line and not above the cage, making it harder for Loyola to go the distance and score.
10 seconds. And they're going to be content. Well, D'Alonzo came out. Mollett, maybe not aware that the shot clock was expiring. He could have put one on target there.
But they're pretty smart play by Spalding. Had subbed off an offensive player for Robbie Hopper to get the defense on the field ready to go.
Flag comes out. You almost wonder if the Dons wouldn't want to just throw the ball away right now. 20 seconds left. They will go man up.
That is unbelievable, man.
17.8 seconds remaining. To have a chance, they would have to score in what, 10 seconds here?
To give themselves an opportunity, after a face-off. But even still, I think it needs to be, less than that, given, the trouble they've had at the X going against Criswell. So
Mollett will serve the penalty. Blakefield on the extra man for the second time today, trailing 7-5, but only 17.8 seconds remaining in the game. What are they going to be doing coming out of this timeout?
I think Spalding is, they're they're man down, right? So they got 30 seconds. I think right now they're kind of packing it in, giving up that outside shot, and then, as you mentioned, so look for some quick inside action, maybe, pick off ball to what you call a Texas cut, so cut hard across the crease, looking to force it. Right now they don't have time to kind of get into a set play, knowing that they have to score, score once, win the faceoff, and score again. So I'm looking for a quick hitter here, and then defensively, sticks in passing lanes, pack it in, give up that outside shot, especially when Newman's been seeing the ball.
So out of the timeout, Cavaliers trying to get this thing across the finish line. Bennett Cook will be handling the ball out of the timeout for the Dons. Cook moves it up top. They don't have time to waste. They got to fire something. That's exactly right.
So right there, it took about 5 seconds to, 2 passes, 1 shot. So, but that's what they want to give up. That was a 12, 15-yard shot.
Just can't keep passing the ball around. And there's the goal. Bennett Cook gets it. 7 seconds. That, legally speaking, would be enough time if you can win a clean face-off. So right now, Ryan Criswell's job, not necessarily just about winning it, but just slowing this thing down. Bennett Cook converts on the extra man, his first of the day. Cuts it to a 1-goal game, 7-6, 7.1 seconds left. All eyes to the dot.
Yeah, right here, I think defensemen have to be face guarding attackmen, can't look for anything cheap, because getting the ball from the midline down to an attackman shouldn't take more than a second or two if you can feed it to him, but I put it all on the face-off man.
And that's the ground ball pickup they needed. They're going to get a look. Oh, my gosh. Mason Cook at the horn. That's unbelievable.
Call on the field is a goal.
I think that's the right call.
Let's see if we can get a replay here one more time.
Fortunately, I don't know that we're going to be able to see it synced up with the clock. Seven game. We're headed to overtime. That's unbelievable. Brady Nicholas was down on the field. He had to be helped off.
Going to overtime.
Said 7 seconds. That's just enough time. And a huge ground ball starts everything. And Mason Cook ties the game up at 7 apiece.
Yeah, that one hurts. You talk about how strong Spalding's been at the faceoff X, as well as the strong wing play right there. With a long pole for Loyola on the sideline or on the wing line, gives them that extra reach to get that ground ball. Found the open man. Great handle, great composure, honestly, for Loyola there to catch that, gain your composure and bury it.
How does Spalding regroup after being on the wrong side of another 4-0 fourth quarter run?
I think this face-off here, they got one right there, Loyola. I think a lucky bounce off the wing. Right here, look for Criswell to win it himself, find an open man. Timeout. Coach Kyle draw up the play, game winner. Get out of here, 8-7 win. An eventful win.
All even going into overtime.
Unnecessary stress, but
well, it starts with you got to convince yourself you somehow got to block out the events of the fourth quarter and just say, look, it's an overtime game. If coming into today, would have said, hey, look, it's going to be 7-7 going to overtime. You would have said, okay,
yeah,
you get it. You're facing a good opponent.
But the way they got here, I think, is what's concerning for
That's
on
the
this.
difficult part, no doubt.
So big face-off here.
7-7 as we start overtime. Sudden victory, LaCrosse. Criswell hung up. Wilbur came in trying to fight for the ground ball.
Hopper,
it will
big ground ball.
belong to the Cavaliers and Robbie Hopper.
Look for early time.
Boy.
That was deflected.
Yeah, so there shouldn't be an over and back here. Criswell ahead to Hopper. Hopper couldn't hold on to it. Oh, this is a mess. And now Loyola will take a timeout and try to set up what they hope will be a game winner here in overtime.
I mean, that's just too many bounces the wrong direction there. I mean, a couple opportunities. Criswell had to look at it. Potentially a hold call that was missed. Then Hopper with an opportunity. Then Wilbur with an opportunity. It just ball's bouncing the wrong direction right now.
Should the timeout have been taken quicker? Right, I mean, should they have taken a timeout?
Spalding me.
Yes.
Yeah, I think you got to be quicker on that call with Hopper. Just above the box line. Get the call, get your offensive personnel in, and play. But Spalding, from the beginning of the season, they said they want to push transition, and when you have Loyola's face-off man and potentially a offensive midi on the wing to give him a better opportunity, you want to keep those players on the field for matchup purposes. Hopper is somebody that can play both directions, has a good stick, has the vision, can shoot the ball. So I'm okay with him staying on the field, but I think it was maybe a half second too long, especially given the flustered nature of that possession from the start.
So Loyola ball. They scored 2 in the final 20 seconds of the fourth quarter to force overtime. Now they have the opportunity to steal this on the road as they look to get to 2-0 in conference play. There's good news for the Cavaliers. Jacob Newman has been great today. He's been awesome. You see him on your screen. They're going to hope they don't need him to come up with another one here, but if they do, he's been up to the task for the most part on this day. Out of the timeout. See what the Dons dialed up to try to come away with a victory. Bennett Cook flips it to Hill. Now Hill gets it back.
Loyola staying in that weave offense that they started the game with.
They converted on the first weave look that we saw today when they were trailing 2-0. 45 on the possession clock.
Good slide there.
No full switch. And Robbie Hopper is going to come away with it. Another one of your leaders here on this team, Robbie Hopper. When you need a play, he makes it to the point. Still got to clear it. Lob forward to Moss. Moss comes up with it, so they've got to clear.
Timeout here.
They don't take it immediately. Now they'll take it. So the stop they absolutely had to have. Robbie Hopper once again making the play for the Cavaliers, knocking it down. He and Kaufman, they're fighting for it, and Hopper comes away with the ground ball. Get it back for Spalding. All right, Coach, 2:28 remaining here in overtime. You need a golden goal. How you coming up with it?
I think we saw a play early in the game out of a timeout or out of the quarter, kind of a stack look on the backside, initiating from behind, couple off-ball, picks and cuts. So they've been successful getting the ball behind and finding, a quick slide and a step-down shot. So look for that same sort of look. Get the defense overloaded on one side, find a shorty matchup coming from X, and hitting the cutter coming down towards the cage.
Last overtime game Loyola played, they fell 8-7 against Georgetown Prep back on March 13th. Spalding looking to hand them another 8-7 overtime loss here today. Crowd back into it. Certainly there was a shocking feeling of how the fourth quarter transpired.
It's definitely been a roller coaster of emotions here today. Hopefully it ends on a high note here.
Matassa feeds it back to the middle, and Bennett, the wind whipping here at Whittles Field. Bennett digs in, gets the extra attention. They move it to the middle. Matassa, there's the winner!
What a find.
What a call. Fourth of the day for Joey Matassa, and the Cavaliers get their first A-Conference win of the season as they defeat Loyola Blakefield 8-7 in overtime. Walk us through
What a play. What a play. Here we go with the replay. Wilbur just with a great find. I think they kind of caught Loyola sleeping there. Hard cut from, the backside pipe. They called at the wall, found the soft spot in the defense. Turn and finish.
And by my math, that's the fourth assist on the day for Wilbur, too. And now he is up to 19 for the season, 20th goal on the year for Joey Matassa, but the one that's got to feel the best, as this one could have been crushing. The way that things went, this started to feel like your season could maybe get away from you a little bit. That was huge.
And instead of having a crushing defeat, it's like it never happened. It's 8-7. It's a W in the win.
Well,
it's
and
a win column.
Maybe even more meaningful because you had to do it in overtime. Now you got the confidence in those situations that you know how to deliver in that spot.
Yeah, I mean, they were tested, and I think they learned a lot about themselves in this overtime. Right, the third quarter was a great third quarter. Did exactly what they needed to do. Built the lead. Played well with it through the entire third quarter. Fourth quarter, Loyola just came alive a little bit, got themselves back in, and obviously, if you said we could be up 2 goals with 17.8 seconds left, I like those odds.
Yep.
So I think you got tip your cap to Loyola. Great last 20 seconds of the game, but right there, huge stop on defense in overtime. Heck of a play drawn up on the offensive side, and it bounced Spalding's way at the end.
Cavaliers improved to 6-3 on the season, 1-1 in conference play. They're on the road Tuesday. Loyola falls to 3-5 on the year, 1-1 in the conference. Thanks to all of you for joining us today. Thanks to our crew, Paul Garza, Trey Hammer, the whole team. Thanks, Sean Hatley, for absolutely nothing. Andrew Scally, always thanks to you, especially for picking me up there as I was running a little bit behind today.
Team effort.
For our crew, I am Glenn Clark. Again, your final score here today in overtime. Archbishop Spalding 8, Loyola Blakefield 7. You've been watching Cavaliers Lacrosse.